Okay, now lecture recording is started. So today this is our first lecture and recording is started and this recording will be available for you later on. Okay. So when we make measurements every day, in fact, everything is measured. You go for driving, at which speed you are moving, this is measurement. When you design, somebody design your car, he told you this is the power of the car. Again, how you know how much power you need to take measurement. You go for outside, ride in the elevator. In the elevator, it is written maximum 10% or maximum capacity is 400 kilograms. Again, this is measurement. So everything around you need measurement. Even at home, if somebody cooks for you or you do for cooking, you do measurements. How much water is used inside? At home might be used with some, you can say roughly, but at international level, when there is some big stores, they do it professionally. They have measurement instruments. So measurements are everywhere. For example, we routinely read measurement temperature, outdoor temperature. Why we need to measure temperature? If you want to go outside, you check temperature. Here in Saudi Arabia, when we go outside, we check temperature. If temperature is round about 40, we know it's very hot. It's not a very good time to go out, especially in the sun. So that measurement helped me. So I need the measurement. Similarly, if I am in a very countries where they are very near to poles and they are cold countries, again check the temperature to tomorrow's temperature or to current temperature. What is weather outside? If air is very chill feeling, temperature is very low, so I will not go out. So I need an information. So information of temperature will give me a very good idea what is temperature outside. If outside is very cold, I would like to wear a lot of, you can say I would like to wear a warm clothing. So I am using temperature for the selection of my clothes. So this is how we can use temperature measurements. Then another thing which is used to measure the volume. Normally, when we take liquids, when we consume liquids, normally normally most of the time we measure in terms of volumes. How much volume? For example, when you go to fill your car tank with some petrol or gasoline, diesel, whatever you use, you uh, the fuel is filled inside your car and reading is appearing on the here on the screen. You can read that reading which is appearing. For example, if reading is there 20 liter, 20-liter reading which is here, you believe that same 20 liter is gone inside your car tank. So again here you are trusting a reading and your measurement is done by volume flow here. We know in order to make something flow, we need a pump. So a pump will be designed at certain flow rate that will fill the petrol from a reservoir inside your car tank. So we can measure it and we trust whatever reading appears on it. Then at home or somewhere, sometime we need to measure quantities. What happens sometime we don't have balances at home to measure the weights. So what we use, we can use a cup. Roughly on the cup, sometime reading is written. This quantity up to this quantity up to this quantity up to this quantity. So you use that amount. For example, you want to use flour in your cooking and it is written, for example, use 40 gram or 50 gram of something. So how you will measure 50 gram? In fact, you need a balance that can measure the weight. But here at home you don't have it, so you use these kind of cups. So you can see there can be many instruments to measure something. Here you're using cup. They are cheaply available. They don't require any maintenance. You just purchase them, bring them at home, and you can start using them. Now we can see for measurement of temperature, there is a thermometer. For quantity, you can use cups, and for volumes, there can be other instruments, pumps, something they can deliver. But do we need to give a thought what kind of selection of instrument I will use? Do you think there's any relation between instrument and, for example, I know weight can be measured by a spring balance system. Weight can be measured by a electric balance, which is available in many stores when you go to purchase your items. Weight can be measured by some other very rough methods. So when there are a lot of methods, we can use Avili method at home. No, we cannot use all the instruments. This is the main reason of mechanical measurements. We cannot use all the instruments those are available. It depends upon many things. It can depends upon accuracy and precision. We will discuss these details. For example, if I want to measure the height of a building and I ask you, please select a scale. This scale is just you can say 1 meter long. 1 meter long. So if you want to measure the length, for example, rather than height, I will say rather than length. Length is easy on the ground. For example, if length is 100 meter and I am giving you a scale which is 1 meter long, it means if you want to measure it, you have to move 1 meter plus 1 meter plus 1 meter. You have to make 100 readings. So then it will become 100 meter measurement. So might be 1 meter length scale is not a good selection to measure such a long distance. So it means either we will use some measurement, those have large lengths. Normally tapes are used. They can expand quickly. You can open them. They have large lengths. So we cannot use it this scale. So it depends upon the selection. Similarly, for example, uh, I ask you, please bring 10 students to the university. How you will bring 10 students university? In the car? In a car, maximum 4 passengers can be accommodated. Maximum 4 passengers. You cannot bring 15. So car is not designed for 15 persons. You need 15 persons. Either you will go for a big bus or some van. So selection is different. Now target was the same. Come to university. If you are coming by 1 person or 4 person, car is okay. But if you are coming with the 10 or 20 persons, one car will not be sufficient. So now I need to select my system and devices that which one is suitable for me, which one is suitable for my measurements, my methodologies, my demands. Then, after all the direct use of data, it is clear that type of instruments and techniques are familiar to us. In fact, we know that there are many types of instruments available. If you go in a market, you just write to measure the temperature. For example, write a measure temperature on the Google. Google will give you lot of instruments from mechanical to sophisticated digital instruments, depending upon the prices, depending upon the precision, depending upon the accuracy, what you want. So there will be many things will be available for you. Then you have to make selection, which one suits you, which one is desired by you, how much money you have, how much quality where you want to measure is available. So you can have these answers. So if you know your questions, what are you measuring, how much accuracy is required, how much cost is required, you can select a particular instrument which will be used for measurement. However, especially we are not dealing with very sophisticated measurements, we can easily purchase some cheap instruments. commonly available in the markets, but when stakes becomes greater. For example, when you design a car, you very precisely need to measure the velocity. You, when you are designing an aeroplane, lot of passengers are inside. You need a very good material, strong and lightweight materials. On the ground, different things. In the air, things become more critical. Stakes are more high. So might be you need very good measurements there. So measurement equipment selection and its technique, then they become very much important depending upon what is the critical requirement. One example, for example, you purchase a car or you purchase some engine rather than car, because inside the car is an engine, and it is said engine is 20 horsepower. For example, this is the power of engine. Either it is given in terms of horsepower or either it is given watts, kilowatts. Okay, this is the power unit. I claim that I have an engine whose power is this. Now, if I claim it's 20 horsepower, how you will verify this? You will measure this power. So you need to measurement of the power. But in engine, what happened at the engine? If there is an engine, at the end of the day, there is a shaft which is coming out of engine and it is rotating. So you need to measure the power from a rotating shaft, which is rotating with certain torque and certain speed. In terms of rotation, we call them RPM. So it means we need a relation of power which can combine torque and RPM combined in any form, in any type of formula, and then we will able to measure the power from the engine. Once it is measured, we can say yes, you are right. Your engine is really delivering something 20 horsepower. So we need to measurement to verify this. Then there can be one more thing. When there is an engine, sometimes we not only concerned with the power, but we are also very much concerned with the environment. If we are concerned with the environment, it means we need to check its emissions. How much carbon is coming, how much carbon monoxide is coming, how much carbon dioxide is coming, how much sulfur dioxide is coming. They all affect the environment and they all affect the greenhouse effect on the planet. In fact, world is already suffering this. So that's why most of the time now you are thinking or you are listening that we want to move from uh, oil-based engines to some renewable type renewable energy resources, because they produce no emissions or pollutions, are very less emissions or pollution. Solar panels are one of them. So solar energy can be used. Then wind energy is available. Anyhow, these are some further things. But if your car engine is producing some emissions, it should not going to pollute the environment. So how you will check if emissions are in good state or in bad state? You need some measurement system that can give you are very precise or very or on the other hand very quick information. It's it is clean. It is not as dirty or there are not much carbon dioxide, carbon monoxide, sulfur dioxide, whatever criteria is there inside the smoke which is coming out of your car. So when we design a car engine, we need to measure the power and we also need to verify the emissions. Then how we can measure them? There's a measurement system. Otherwise, anybody will come and claim. You need to verify that yes, what are we are claiming, it is there. So now we will go in more detail. What is measurement? But we will write see in terms of mechanical measurement. The action of measuring something, where measuring means the size, amount of degree of something, means how much intensity is there, how much degree or sometimes accuracy you want by using the instrument and device marked in standards. So mechanical measurements mean you want to measure something. For example, you want to measure height, width, length, weight, anything. But important thing is written here, the measurement will be against some standards. This is very important. It means if I ask you to measure the length, you cannot use a ABC unit. We know standard units are meters, kilometers, millimeters. We know standard instruments are these instruments. So that's why if we are going to measure something, it will not be any common instrument. Instrument will be as per some standard, and there will be not some common methodology. The methodology or the procedures will also should also be some standard. So nothing is by chance. Everything should be well documented and as per well standard. So the branch of engineering that is dealing with design, construction, and the use of machines, such kind of machines in which measurements are there, we are dealing with mechanical engineering. Here now, what you think? How much measurements? Measurement is just one thing, or measurements everything? Lot of things around here, as you can see in the slide. For example, what we want to measure? We want to measure temperature. You are all familiar with temperature. Temperature indicates how much something is hot or cold. Fine. Then next thing, what you want to measure? Thickness. Fine. It is a thin plate. It is thick plate. Fine. A very thick plate. Fine. Then vibrations. We need to measure the vibrations. Vibrations, when you are in the car, engine is vibrating, or due to road, there are bumps, there are jerks, your car might be vibrate. If that vibration is traveled to the passengers, you will feel very uncomfortable. So in order to make you less feel comfortable, there should be less vibrations transfer inside the car. So mechanical measurement, in which we want to measure vibrations in order to make sure that very few vibrations are traveled to the passengers. So this amount, amount mean quantity, how much quantity. Then you want to measure the pressure. Very daily you want, in fact, when you go for pressure to fill in your car, this instrument, when you stop, when certain reading appears, here you have used the instrument to check the value inside of the pressure. So you need to measure the pressure when you fill the air in your car tires. Quantity, flatness. Here, flatness. Now I will ask you to be ready. I am going to select somebody that will give me answer. What is flatness? First, I will invite Abdulillah. You are listening to me?
Doctor.
Good. First thing you are listening to me. That's very good. Yes, Abdulillah. You know what is flatness?
I really don't know, Doctor.
No problem. But I think if you have studied mechanical engineering drawing,
Yes, I studied.
then it was there. Anyhow, now I will invite, for example, Al Walid Hamza. It's okay. Al Walid, you are there? Are you are listening? Yes. You can tell me what is flatness? No, don't write. Speak. Yes, Al-Walid Hamza, speak. Flatness. Al-Walid, I'm not listen. Where are you? It's that's not a good answer. From next time, make sure your mics or everything is working. Okay? You know, I told you there are 10 marks. So this behavior will give you 10 marks. If we can discuss, if there is any question, Al-Walid, distance between two parallel. Okay, now you are giving some answer, but I want to in fact discussion your discussion. Okay, anybody if he is interested to speak, he is welcome. Anybody, but you need to discuss. Anybody is there? Anybody can tell me what is flatness? Yes, Abdul Bari, please.
The surface, how is it flats? It's more flats or not?
Yes, a very good, really good answer. For example, flatness is an absolute thing surface. For example, this is a body. You can see it's a 3D body. I am not interested this surface should be flat or not. I am not interested this surface is flat or not. But this part is used in the car where some part will come and going to meet with this part. So this surface becomes very important for me. It will use in assembly. So what I want its flatness to be very good. Normally, the flatness symbol is this. This is the flatness, very little flatness symbol. It is something like this, and it is mentioned on the drawings. So flatness will indicate me, for example, this is straight line, straight surface. But if my surface is something like this, you can see bumps, ups and downs, then we can say surface is not a flat surface. It has very important application flatness in production engineering, design engineering. Your surface should be flat. One of the example, for example, when you purchase bed from the market, if bed is standing on four pillars, if four pillars bottom is not flat, you know what can happen? Bed can make noise and vibration by hitting if it is not flat. Your almiras at home, your chairs at home, if their bottoms are not that much flat or they have poor flatness, they are going to disturb. But when you are going to make, for example, engine is a very good example. In an engine normally make in many parts. Engine head, then engine head is for example is inside. So there are two parts. One part engine top, engine head. Here you can have piston. So two parts going to meet with each other. This surface should be very flat. If there is not flat, then leakages can happen. You know what happened if leakage will happen? Your cooling water will go inside the engine. Your cooling oil can go inside the engine. Cooling oil means lubrication oil. So your engine will be destroyed. Your car will be destroyed. So flatness is that important when you are going for car. Might be we will see some examples, but this is flatness. Volume, we can measure volume by meter cube. These are the units. Velocity, we know the velocities of the car. Then tolerances. Tolerances means if for example I need 25 millimeter, impossible in fact practically to make exact 25, so we give tolerance. If it is in this range, my part is acceptable. So in measurement is this. Hardness. Hardness is another important thing. Anybody know what is hardness? What is this thing? What is hardness? I will invite openly everybody. You should able to know what is hardness. Anybody have any idea? Rather than googling on the Google, try to come your answers with me. Hardness. Nobody have any idea? Yes, Rakan.
Maybe resistant to break.
Yes, resistance, but it is not resistance to break. Okay, resistance to break might be come with, for example, might be with toughness. Toughness
Tough.
might be it will go with toughness. Please, I will advise you, being an engineer, be if you want to be good engineer in future, you want to do research, you want to be professors, be very careful what is toughness, what is hardness, what is modulus of elasticity, what is Poisson ratio, what is fracture toughness, what is brittle, what is ductile. Very important thing. Hardness, I would like to say with simply thing, if some material, if it is going to wear less, wear, when we use things, they wear out with time. If material is going to wear less, then I can say material is very hard. But if material wear out much, then material is less hard. So hardness is resistance, not deformation. I would like to say, I will say the more technical word those are used is resistance to. Look at this term I'm writing: indentation. Indentation. Resistance to. In fact, somebody has written spellings are not good, but indentation. Indentation means this is the indentation test. This is a piece. I want to check its resistance, hardness. A ball will be there, and I will press inside the material. If it takes too much force, we will say material is hard. If it take less force, we will say material is less hard. So hardness is very important thing. Remember one thing, being a production engineer, I was in the university, I was in the industry, and to a certain part, I was a designer, I give a production engineer, I need a part with a hardness, for example, 40 HRC. HRC. This is a unit. He refused to make my part. He said, if you want to make machining of this much hardness, my one tool will wear out. And that one tool can make 100 parts for me. And that one part will consume your one piece. So please, if you want to do machining for your part, reduce the hardness up to 35. Then I will accept it. Otherwise, otherwise, uh, it will wear out. My my part will wear out. So I have to, during design, I have to reduce the hardness because there is no much tools were available, manufacturing tools. So this is how in real world happens. Sometimes you want better quality, better hardness, but it was not available in my case. I have to reduce the hardness. So hardness, normally hardness is a very important property. When you increase the hardness, strength improves, toughness improves, and many other properties may improve. So hardness is one of them. So we can measure many other things. For example, combustion. Combustion is good. Good efficiency of combustion in the car engines. Your fuel is combustioning, so you need to know. You need to measure the speed, mass, mass in terms of kilograms, tightness, or fits. They are to me they are related to close to each other. Fit mean it is clearance fit, it is transition fit. Again, if you recall your mechanical engineering drawing, it should be there. Then length, width, absolute measurement, relative measurement, eccentricity, distance, eccentricity, expansion, flow, acceleration, time. So now we have just seen here few things. One of the very important measurements normally also are stress and strains. Stress and strains. We will see them. Till now you know what is stress and strain. I will invite somebody can tell me what is stress. Technically, what is stress? In your words, what is stress? I will invite everybody, all of you, if you can answer me what is stress. We need to measure the stress. How we measure the stress? its definition has this information also. Everybody, I need to know when there is a stress, what is the stress in terms of mechanical engineering? Force over area, pressure acting. This is a very good answer, Abdur Rahman. In fact, force per unit. Look, now you are going towards practical life. Now you also need to know two things. Stress. What is stress? You can say force per unit area. Okay, fine. This is a good answer. But in fact, how you measure it? What is actually a stress? Stress is this: when I apply a load on a body, it resists internally. So stress is generated internally inside the body against the applied force. Now, how I measure this internal resistance of the body, which is I am calling now stress. So that's why one of you written pressure applied on a area rather than we can say force applied on a area, and it is the internal resistance of the body. But how we can measure the internal resistance? We know all the action is equal to reaction. So whatever reaction is generating, we measure by this action. So what we do, we take the force and we measure the cross-sectional area of our piece on which force is applied. So force divided by area give the reading of the stress. So we will keep on increasing the force. It means we will keep on increasing the stress. So similarly, strain is change in length per unit original length. So this is one of the few quantities those we measure. But remember that being a mechanical engineers or production engineers or industrial engineers, you are on the shop floor and measurements are coming, and a lot of measurements are coming, especially manufacturing engineer, production engineer, and quality control engineer. Especially when you see the drawing, there will be flatness symbol, there is circularity symbol, there is a straightness symbol, cylindricity symbol, lot of things to measure on the parts. Especially if you go to good industry, you will see these symbol on the drawings and you need to measure them. Now next, we just see introduction of the measurements. Next, we already in the see in the definition. When we want to make measurements, what is most important thing becomes, if you want to make some measurement, it should be against some standard. Standard is very much important. We cannot measure by our method. We need to measure by some adopting standard methodologies, standard equipment, and standard techniques. So standards. The standard is the first thing that comes. We need to know. So normally the standard which is internationally followed, it is called SI system, international system. Most of the countries follow them. If we have a same standard, then measurements, verifications, manufacturing become easy. So the any part which is made in Saudi Arabia is can fit in any other part which is made in USA if both are made as per one common standard. So we need a standards, ensuring all the measurements are valid. If they are against standard, we can ensure much better and easily way. Then we need to understand some concept. We will see these concepts. We need to know accuracy, precision. When we make measurements, we know what are precision. When we make measurements, there will be data, and we know data is accurate or not accurate. If there is a data of measurements, we need to know how much uncertainty is there. Then we need to know what is repeatability and what is reproducibility. If we are using, for example, vernier caliper, micrometer, we'll see these things in detail. They are producing same reading again and again or again and again. So repeatability. We will see them in detail. Then acceptance criteria. tolerance. We already discussed that we cannot make anything absolute. What is this absolute? 25 is one thing, but definitely when we go on for manufacturing, we give certain criteria. Means 0.1. It means I will accept the part, or a part is accepted if it is 24.9 or it is 25.1. Tolerance is plus minus 0.1. So this limit between them, everything between them is acceptable. Everything outside is not acceptable. Part will be rejected. Then very important, finally, calibrations. Most of the time, we use standards for the calibration. For example, if you are using a thermometer at home and it gives you reading 37 degree, for example, I can ask, are you sure your thermometer is okay? Are you sure 37 reading is okay? So what option you have? You will send your thermometer to some laboratory to check whether your thermometer is giving good reading or your thermometer is giving bad reading. This procedure is called calibration. So calibrations are very important. So main things we are applying for good measurement practices, SI systems, valid different concepts, overall uncertainty of the measurement. Definitely, if we take some measurement instruments, it further have lot of parts, a lot of sub parts. Everybody has its own in assembly. Everything has its own uncertainty. So, when we combine them, assemble them in one form, so might be there will be an overall uncertainty. Then we apply the concept of geometric tolerances. What are geometric tolerances? Anybody can tell me that what is geometric tolerances? Anybody? What are geometrical tolerances? Have you ever seen geometric tolerances?
Uh, it's maybe the acceptable change in measurement.
Your answer is close. In fact, in the acceptable measurements, in fact, there are drawings. You study drawings. On the drawing, this is a part. On the part, it is written. Sometime geometry, its flatness is this, its parallelism is this. So geometrical tolerances goes towards there. If you have some geometrical tolerances, it will be written on the drawings. It will be mentioned on the drawings, and you can say your flatness, your parallelism, perpendicularity, eccentricity, they will go there, and you need to measure circularity, cylindricity. I was just discussing on the last slide. So these things are related to this. So basically, your answer is partly okay. It is related to it controls the geometry very well. It controls the geometry very well. So today we will finish here our introduction part, and all the lecture slides are available online. I already uploaded them on the Blackboard. You can get them from there. Lecture is recorded. It will be